attended a school seminar where the speaker talked about emotional battering. And then she began to scrutinize and think about our own relationship. And then she thought to herself, should I continue in this relationship or should I move on? So what's the answer?
With all the challenges and the responsibilities that women carry day in, day out, the last thing we want on our plate are bad vibes and toxic relationships.
Hello and welcome to yet another beautiful and thought-provoking episode of Time Out with the Ladies. And believe me, our ladies in the studio are looking beautifully and wonderfully made, I must say that. Alright, with me co-anchoring today is Mrs. Faith Oyekbeju. You're welcome, ma.
Thank you, Tracy.
You look amazing.
Thank you. You don't look bad too.
Yeah, thank you very much. She just said that. Alright, moving on, we have Mrs. Emorwa. You're welcome, ma.
Thank you.
You look great. You're welcome, man.
You look good too.
Thank you very much. And also moving on, we have our mentor, role model, and much more. Believe me, she's amazing.
Yeah.
The wife of the General Overseer of the Foursquare Gospel Church in Nigeria, Reverend Mrs. B.C. Aboyeji. You're welcome, mommy.
Thank you. You're welcome, mommy.
Thank you.
God bless you all.
Thank you, man.
Amen.
And I must say, your gele looks amazing.
Wow.
There's just something.
What's the name for it?
Beautiful.
Beautiful is the name for it.
Antenna.
All right. So yes, today on Time Out with the Ladies, the topic for us is toxic relationships. And I know you all out there are ready and prepared to hear what we have to say about this topic. But very quickly before we continue, we have to go on a short break. We'll be right back. This is Time Out with the Ladies, hashtag TOWTL, and I'm sure you all are going to have a great time today. Alright, so moving on to the topic for today, what is a toxic relationship? Helping us with that is our co-anchor, Mrs. Faith.
Toxic relationship. I'd want to say that in one word, toxic relationship are relationship where you're very uncomfortable in the relationship. I'm sure that Ms. Emurwa has plenty adjectives. We've been discussing this before now, and then I could see all her descriptions. And I'll say that she's not mincing words. Let's hear them.
It's a situation where you are emotionally and physically draining. There is abuse, there is conflict, there is constant argument, there is fear. You are not free in that relationship. Any step you take, there will be complaint. And I want to quickly mention that this relationship does not only apply to husband and wife. It can be between friends, family, in-laws, and in the office.
Yes. Even neighbors. Yes,
Yeah.
I think in all kind of relationships, you could find some toxic patterns too. So we need to watch out for those patterns.
Exactly. But do you know that a woman might be in a toxic relationship and not know? For example, mommy, there are some ladies that will tell you, some single ladies, I've heard it so many times, and then they even argue about it. They will tell you if a man doesn't beat you or slap you once in a relationship, then you have to move on to another, because that's the mindset they've carried over time. And I'm sure I'm speaking the mind of so many singles out there. So I want us to say something about this. Before we come to mommy, let's hear from you, Mrs.
Yeah. I think I also want to agree with what you have said, because I think back in uni those days, I had a neighbor at my hostel, and then her boyfriend used to beat her a lot. And at some point, I didn't want to talk, but so it got to a point where she was on admission. I had to go and see her, and I was like, "Are you sure you want to continue with this relationship. I was like, it's because he loves me, that's why he's beating me. At that point, I knew that I needed to intervene in prayers for this lady. So yes, I agree with you. There are ladies like that who think that when they are abused, that's when the other person really loves them. That love has to come with some level of discipline. So the guy is just disciplined. After all, if the God that loves us also disciplines us. So that's the premise on which they hinge those kind of arguments.
Wow.
And it's really unfortunate.
Wow. Mommy Amara, what do you have to say to this?
It's quite unfortunate that there is that type of mindset, because it's not when you lift up your hand and start to beat the other person that you actually display love or care. I beg to disagree that until a man beats a woman, that does not mean that the man loved the woman. It shouldn't be so, because in actual fact, a man that is able to control his emotions will not lift up his hand to beat his wife. And the moment a man lifts up his hand to beat the wife, that means for the rest of that woman's life, only if God intervene, that attitude will not continue. So I appeal to our people out there that we should disabuse our mind. Disabuse our mind concerning beating, especially between husband and wife. You cannot claim to love me. It's because you love me, that's why you are beating me. It is not right. Because to get to a point where that beating will actually lead to something terrible.
I think I need to say something
Yes, ma'am.
at this side now. And that theory is totally wrong. A man will want to show love and beat the partner very, very well. What kind of love is that?
Discipline.
The person
It's called
is
discipline.
beating himself because the two should be one. And anything you are trying to do, just like Sister Ronke said, anything you are trying to do in courtship, you're going to eventually do in your marriage.
Yeah.
So it's a training ground to know how to beat the wife very, very well. I think it's biblically wrong, and no man or no relationship should follow that pattern. It's a wrong theory.
Okay, Mommy, I'm going to talk about this because it is something I've heard like singles talk about.
Okay.
And I'm like, why would a single think like this? So I'm going to speak their mind now.
Okay.
This particular person told me, he said, the guy will seem like a weakling if he doesn't slap me. He said, why would I be in a relationship and the guy will not raise his hand to slap me or hit me? He said, no, it doesn't work that way. And this person, this lady in question, is a Christian. So yes, we have Christians these days who want to marry Jet Li with a bit of Abraham or Jet Li with a bit of Moses. That is, they want the all macho guy with a bit of the Bible character. So Mommy, please, I want you to
that's what I just try to emphasize now. That is not actually biblical. There are some things that are really from the pit of hell. They are, they try to, the devil is very cunning, and they try to put the things that are wrong and say that it is right. They can, they formulate it and it will look like it and say, I want to marry somebody that is strong, so that if anybody tends to want to beat me, the person will just squeeze the person.
Defender of the universe.
So let him try it with me first. Let me see how the power inside him, how he's going to manifest, but it's wrong. Somebody that is gentle will still be gentle, will still be able to defend you. Anyway, what I want to tell you is that there is no biblical base for that, and we cannot follow it. And so anybody following is a lie from the pit of hell. That attitude should be changed, and that is where toxic relationship begin to develop. Because after some time, that person will not like it. Let me tell you the fact.
True. Thank you very much, Mommy. So moving on, Mrs. Faith, so what are some of the signs of toxicity in a relationship?
Okay, but if I may also speak to this before we move on.
All right.
I would want to say that we should be careful, maybe as parents, the things we accept in our relationships, because our children are watching. Because I'm thinking that those ladies, where did that come from? Maybe their mothers have accepted some things.
It's true.
So because I'm thinking that, so while you were talking, I was examining myself, that what in the world would make me want to accept a man that beats me as a loving husband? So it means that a seed has been sown.
Yes.
I've watched a pattern, I've experienced a pattern over the years, and I see it as normal.
It's normal. Yeah.
Maybe my mother has endured something like that. So I now see it as because she stayed in the marriage, or because she endured it, probably for her children's sake, she didn't discuss it with us. I now saw it as normal. So I think that mommy should speak to, maybe mothers who genuinely are staying back in marriages like that because of their children. Probably they think they don't have where else to go, or something, or they can't seek help. So, but they should remember that they have daughters or ladies around who are looking at them. So we may want to speak to that. Maybe women who are currently in that kind of relationship and they are going through battery, that the kind of ripple effect is causing in the next generation.
Thank you for expatiating on the point, which I also want to collaborate and emphasize that mindset of enduring the beating in the name of love is very dangerous and risky. The young people that are yet to marry, you are showing wrong example to them, and in as much as they see what is happening, their own mindset is being formed, and that may have some negative impact in their life going forward. As our mommy mentioned, it is not supported by the Bible that the man should raise up his hand and beat the spouse. So wherever that idea is coming from, maybe they have seen it happen in their home while they were growing up, or maybe in the neighborhood, but the mind should be disabused. It is wrong, it is not right, and we should not hold on to it. Thank you.
Maybe we should use that opportunity, because there is nothing the woman can do. So she's not the one beating herself.
Yes.
It's somebody else beating. So what we should appeal to our men, that whatever they are doing to their wives, they are showing examples of what to continue with their children. Because I've ever given an example of a small baby, or of a small boy that went to school, and a little girl offended the boy. I say, I will show you today. I'm going to beat you the way my daddy used to beat my mommy. And then just pack the cloth of the child to the front. And then the teacher stopped him, and the teacher called him. What are you trying to do? Then he started narrating what happens in the home. They are seeing it. Yes. And those are the effects of what that lady or those girls or those people in relationship, ladies they are seeing in they feel their mommy, they are enjoying it. But you said it's not enjoyment, because they are staying there because of you, the children. The next step that such parents or mothers should do is to tell the children, this is not normal. Absolutely. This is an exception in our own home. But I decide to stay. Maybe your father will change. That is it's not a good thing to copy. The boys, don't copy this thing your father is doing. You ladies, don't go and look for that will be beating. So there should be a correction. Let them understand. It's still on communication. And why the mother still pray that such an attitude in the life of the husband will stop.
But what other ways can she seek help?
Because if it is getting out of hand,
yes.
because it can cause some other things.
Yeah.
Please, I think she should go for counseling.
Okay.
There will be somebody that the man will respect, that the husband will respect, and he can be talked to by such a person. Maybe he will calm down from such a thing. So there will be a way out. I know people that have been doing like that before, and at the end of the day, there was a way out, and such attitude stopped. But when it has not stopped, keep on praying, seeking for counsel until the whole thing is being attended to. Either there is divine intervention or all other intervention, and everything will be all right.
All right, Mom. So I have a question I should ask. So for someone or a woman who is emotionally abused and physically abused, if it gets to the point where the life of the woman in the house is endangered, she's in trouble if she keeps staying in the house, what should happen? Because most ministers, most pastors will advise that she stays back and probably keep interceding for the husband and all of that. And so many women have lost their lives in this process. So, Mommy, what's...
And men inclusive.
And men inclusive,
yes.
It's
both ways.
Both ways, exactly.
Both ways, the violence.
The Lord will help us. It's
Amen.
a real issue. We don't want such a thing to, violence to come in, and it will lead to death. But what advice I can give at this stage is that the minister, the pastor in question, can do a momentary separation. Most of the time, the one that we encourage is let the wife come and stay with the pastor. Pastor's wife. And maybe she needs a lot of training, because maybe the mouth is too sharp and some other things that needs the man to be beating her always. So they will do some biblical therapy for her, so that she can cope for some time. And because that separation, you will find that most of the time the man will come and beg the pastor, give me back my wife. Then the pastor will be able to talk to the man. The wife will continue to beat every time. So you say, blessed are those that make peace. So we need to make peace by all means. But what of the parents of those of the couple, the couple? What's important? They have say also. The parents also can be a source of peace. If they are good parents, they can say, oh, your wife, come to my place. You stay in your own place until we are able to resolve the matter. So there are ways of doing it. But where there is I'm not talking about momentary separation, not total separation, so that the husband the man can understand, the woman can understand. Maybe they need some lectures or lesson on how to relate with one another. Some may be talking that she doesn't respect me. The other one says he's too harsh. He talks to me anyway. Anyhow, he made me a slave in the house. Different kind of reasons. So, but when they separate, they will be able to call them one by one and begin to make them to come together.
All right, thank you very much, Mommy. Now, my question, which we'll answer after the break, is: should all of these reasons be enough for a man to raise his hand to beat or hit a lady? Is it enough reason? This will be answered right after the break. Remember, this is Time Out with the Ladies. We're going on a short break now. We'll be right back. back. This is Time Out with the Ladies, and believe me, it's been a very thought-provoking discussion here in the studio. We've been discussing the topic toxic relationships, and I'm sure most of you out there have questions you'd love to ask, and you would love to comment. So you can follow us on our social media handles. Remember to use the hashtag TOWTL, and of course, we'll be there to respond to all your many questions. All right, moving on. Before we went on the break, which Mommy told us about some reasons why men beat women, and so are these reasons enough? Let's hear from Mommy Amara.
Okay, thank you so much once again. There is no reason why any man should raise up his hand to beat his wife. There is no reason at all. There is no excuse, because if you love and care for that woman, you will want the best for her. Beating is not the best for her. Beating will lead to so many issues that she will have to cope with. And looking at our topic today, which is toxic relationship, beating is just a symptom, it's just a sign, one of the signs of toxic relationship. We have others that are emotional, like lies, like dishonesty, fear, oppression, suppression, argument every time. So we need to actually look at those other signs so that we will get more information and be able to guide our relationship with others and others with us, because it has to be two before you can have a relationship. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Ma. So moving on, let's talk a bit about toxic relationship in the workplace. It's very rampant, and it's something most persons don't really want to talk about because they're afraid their boss will do this to them, or will, they're just the fear is there. So let's hear from Mrs. Olipeju.
In corporate Nigeria, I would dare to say that there's a lot of toxicity going on, and it's always not from the boss to subordinate. At times it could be from subordinate to the bosses. So there are different angles to it. But in any relationship in the workplace where you are deeply afraid, you cower, you can't speak up genuinely, and or early in the morning you're afraid to go to work because somebody will bully you, whether it's the boss or whether it's your colleague. Somebody is bullying you to silence, to keep quiet, then you may need to watch it. So, and it's happening all around. So, and at times temperaments also make it happen that way. Some people are generally melancholic. They are always on the receiving end. Some people are choleric, they are sanguine, they are the aggressive part, and they are people who bully people even in schools and even in workplaces. They are very loud. And people who are maybe melancholic and phlegmatic, they are the ones that are quiet. So we're always at the receiving end. I can be like that. So, and I also hear people say that in any relationship that somebody is always the silent one who is making the relationship go on, because the person is receiving all the battering and co. But it shouldn't be like that. I think in any relationship, whether at work or anywhere, you should be able to speak up when you want to speak up, when you think there's something cogent for you to say, and nobody will bully you. But if you cannot do that when you want to do it, if you always live in fear, then something is definitely wrong. I need to do something about it.
Valid point, Mrs. Faye. Thank you very much. Moving on, Mrs. Amara, there's a particular friend I know, and she worked in this media organization, and then she had a boss. Now, this boss, for no reason, was always very angry. They called him Angry Bird. I don't know if you've watched the cartoon Angry Bird. He was always angry. He uses vulgar words on them for no reason, always shouting, do this, do that, and he makes your whole place tense. Imagine working in a media house that already has its own tension, then you're adding more. And then some days she has to cry, she's never free at work. So what's the way forward?
I think the best thing for her to do is to actually examine what actually she wants. What is her desire? Because crying because you are going to the office, not able to be free while you are in the office, and always, not free, is a sign of toxic relationship. And it is good to nip it at the bud, because if you allow it to grow, it will affect so many other things, because health-wise, emotionally, she may become unstable. My advice, sincere advice, is for her to walk away, because she has her life to live. She need to walk away. She may think that the job is so important, but she should look at her health in terms of the job. If she's able to walk away alive, she will get another job. There is no point hanging on.
Let's hear from mommy.
Okay. Actually, the way I'm seeing this toxic relationship, it depends on a lot of things. Depends on characters of individual. The rate at which individual, the level of you being able to receive backwardness. You know, some people, they can't just allow anything to touch their body at all. They can't, I don't know how to.
They can't handle
They
it.
can't take shock.
They can't take
Like my son, once you shout too much, he start crying. The other one, no matter how you shout, he has just stayed it up and moved on.
So one thing is that we need to know that the world is full of various relationships. Whether if you don't meet them, if you have a good one in the home, good luck. But out there, you will meet different kinds of relationship. Bad, ugly, but you know, different kind. Even in the church, you say, I least expected this person to relate to me this way. I expected something better, but that is the best the person can relate. So I will advise people to have a big shock absorber.
Because it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's in the offices, in everywhere. You just and ask the help of the Holy Spirit to help you to handle it. When it comes to a very, just like Sister Ronke said, when it comes to the one that you can, is really sure you have already settled it with God. God said, live there. You can live. That relationship is not healthy for you. It will cause another thing in you. But until you hear that God said live, it may be you need to learn something.
Absolutely.
You need to learn something from that particular. There are some relationships that has taught us, especially me, how to be calm. Maybe I wouldn't have been a calm person like this. But some relationship has helped you to be calm sometimes. And it's good. I can say, you know, out there when I was in the university, I'm an outward person. I relate with you and leave you there. Pick another friend.
Wow, that's a different moment.
But when my husband came into my life, I found out that he's very calm. He's very, and you know, most of the time when I try to do it, I calm down now. Let's do it slowly. When we get there, calm down. And I found out that that relationship has really affected. Then people will be telling me that it's my husband that is not calm. That it's me that is always very calm. I said, no, it's not like that. I came to learn how to be calm. And that brings us to the fruits of the Holy Spirit. Once you are a Christian, there are some relationships that if you are not a Christian, you can't take it. But if you are a Christian, you will absorb it and it will work out for something good, like Galatians 5:22, popular fruit of the Spirit should manifest in our life and it will help us in our relationship. So that is what I can say concerning all this because there are many, there are different levels. We cannot just say stop it at this or do that, but we need to let our Christian virtues that God has deposited in our life, let it manifest. There may be the relationship we are not enjoying before, we will now start enjoying it.
Yeah. So let me also speak to one thing Mommy has said. You know, she said something about maybe there's something you need to learn part-time. So I'm also want to talk about, let me also speak to work relationships. So it's important that as believers at work, we should not be lazy. That we should be seen to do your best at all times. So be good at what you do. So if you are not lazy, if you are not a lazy bird that you're always lazing around, and sincerely you are going through maybe persecution because of some other reason, yeah, maybe you now need to kneel down and start praying about it. But if you're a lazy bird and for every of your outputs is not up to standard, and somebody now comes every year, you know, like this boss is wicked, this boss is this you examine yourself too. You understand? So in whatever we do, there's a level of excellence that's even expected of us as believers. You understand? So that wherever they talk about you, they can vouch for you. Even in the heart of that boss, you will know that this person is doing his best. Maybe it's just his nature to just be a bully. So people are naturally like that. You understand? So, but if you have done your own your best, as God has helped you to do it, so, and you have not been led to leave, just keep praying. Just keep praying and tell God to give you shock absorber that Mommy has said. We need plenty of it too. Because human beings are different.
Because you are going to meet different human beings, different people.
At whatever. So if you run from here, you will meet another one at what. You understand?
You can't keep running.
Yes.
Except you're going to hide in the house and lock yourself.
That is no longer a relationship.
Exactly. Alright, so moving on very quickly because our time is fast spent. So let's talk about church. You know, toxic relationships in churches. When I heard of this, I was like, wow, so does this really exist? So let's hear from Mrs. Ekweju.
Amike. You
are sharing an experience before.
Yeah, so I think that we've seen it play out at in different departments in church. Among different among brethren in church. So, and like we said, I think first of all, we are men, we are human beings, and we have different temperaments. We come from different backgrounds. So, like Mimi has said, that we should always ensure that the fruits of the spirit, we bear the fruits of the spirit. So, but we've seen contentions where this person can do this more than me, or this person prefers this person more than me. Maybe the pastor like this person more than this other person, is always calling brother this, come and do that, and you now start feeling like they don't like me or something, or it plays in different aspects. But like the church is also our society. The people in church, the members, are also members of society, so you can see different things play out, and we are also at different levels, I think, in our faith, in our journey,
in our maturity.
So how we respond to things or how we handle things matter. But to what extent I can allow things to go is what maybe I will leave to a Mommy to talk to.
So maybe I should just say this.
Yes, ma'am.
We should always give allowances
Okay.
for misbehaviors of others. We are not perfect.
That's right.
Our room is not built in a day.
Yes.
And we are coming from different foundations.
Yes.
You know, our foundations are different. The way we are brought up, very, very different. And you see, you know, I have learned a lot from the wife of my son. You know, when she first of all came in, she addressed her, you guys, what do you want, you guys? So I said, so later on, you know, we didn't do anything. So when we are talking to, when they come and visit us, say, you guys, what do you need?
She's not Nigerian.
She's not in Nigeria.
Okay.
So I said, you guys, what do you need? You know, that will have saw our relationship. But at the end of it, you know, we are teasing her. He said, no, daddy, you are not guys, you are daddy and mommy.
She has left.
So you find that background,
yeah.
foundation. But if there are other people who say, who is she talking to? You must be not. You don't have respect for your elders. Then the relationship will break down. So what I'm saying is that we should give allowances for all. By now, at this moment now, she has really adjusted, even better than any Nigerian lady. So what we are saying is that give chance for people to grow, give chance for people to allowances for people to get mature. Then don't think that everybody should be perfect and be at the same, just as you said, at the same stage at the same time. No, if you think about that, then maybe we are what we are talking about now is like a therapy to toxicity in relationship. So you will be giving the person little by little, you are throwing in the therapy and the person is taking it in. Maybe relationship will be better.
That's right.
Okay. I want to throw a question to the discussion. At what level will you agree that a relationship is toxic?
Wow.
And what are you expect to do after you must have exhausted
All options.
all options of bearing with one another, taking charge, being calm, seeing it in different perspectives? So at what level, at what stage can we say, okay, this is toxic?
So who's
The
going
question is
Okay, I think I should
Tracy.
speak for the single ladies.
Okay.
All right. So I think when it gets to the level whereby a lady or a guy is no longer having peace of mind, all right, it's affecting the mental state, the mental health. I have to go to the hospital because I'm thinking about a relationship, then I know it's time to let go. That's the total truth. It's time to let go of that relationship. It's not a do or die affair, especially when you are courting. You're not married yet.
Yes.
There is still an opportunity to drop that relationship. You shouldn't kill yourself there or die. Some ladies will tell you, "Oh, I love him,
But
it's
what-
love." But mommy,
What
it
of
doesn't
a
work that way.
situation where you are told to, please pray. Once you pray, the person will change. The relationship will be good again. Just pray. So how do you handle that aspect?
And that's what she has said actually, that if it is in courtship,
Yeah, you walk away.
you just walk away for your own good.
And
If it's going to be blended again, I
The Lord
think
will work it out.
the
The Lord will work it out.
The Lord will
in
work
the-
it
in the
out.
marriage. But
Yeah.
if it is in marriage, we cannot talk
You
of
can.
walking.
Yes.
away.
Yes.
We
And
must
if it's
look
in
at-
an office environment with your in-laws, with your family member,
You can-
how do you handle that?
when it is with your in-laws, you need to forbearance.
For long. Yes.
Long suffering.
Long suffering.
Long suffering.
I'm trying to bring out all these
Yeah.
so that we
The
can
fruits
look
of the
at
Spirit.
it in various perspectives.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we cannot actually gauge. Your own level is different from my level.
Yeah.
My tolerance level is
Yes,
not yours.
yes,
So
yes,
we
yes.
actually need to bear that in mind so that we'll be able to counsel rightly.
Yeah.
And that is why I said initially that we need to search ourselves, know your person, know what you can endure, and set the limit.
Yeah.
And that will really help.
And also, to add to it, let each and every one of us not think that we have reached the final tolerance level.
Yeah.
We should improve.
Yes.
We should take more. Especially you may be getting into leadership position. A lot of things will be dumped on you.
Yeah.
Different character set at you. You must enlarge it
Yes. Enlarge the territory.
to be able to take more,
Yeah.
to tolerate more. That's what I'm talking
Tolerance.
about.
Yeah.
Tolerance
Yeah,
is very important. Then
Okay.
I want to say that because she says so, when it is becoming beyond you, please
Control.
seek for counsel,
And
seek
pray.
for help, instead of us to hear tomorrow she's dead, or they stab her, or they do this one. Please don't keep it to yourself alone. Look for somewhere to voice it out so that the situation can be helped before it is escalated.
Yeah. Yes, I was just about asking that question. That I think that going to the hospital is also getting to the extreme, because at the initial stage we need to see some cues. So, for example, let me say if I'm at work and I'm seeing cues like I'm afraid to go to work, and so when they starting like that, what are the things that we need to put in place maybe to help our hearts, so that like shock absorbers, like she has said, what are the things that we need to put in place that, okay, as this thing is coming, maybe management meeting on Monday mornings, I want to go to management meeting and anything can happen. What are the things I need to do to guard my heart with all diligence so that whatever comes in at that point,
You'll be able to take
I'll
it.
be able to take and not allow it to come in. What are the things that I need to do at those points? So mommy, maybe you need to speak to that. Or maybe even with the in-laws, maybe I have very toxic in-laws. And they are coming, or we are going, there's an event. What are the things I need to put in place? Like to guard myself. Practical issues.
So that
You understand? Oh, I have a husband that he has gone to work. Maybe I call him on phone. I've heard that tone. That when he comes home today,
it's war.
what are the things I need to put in place to guard my heart so that I can suffer long? Like
Yes,
I said.
What actually we need to put in mind
Yes, ma'am.
is preparation. You prepare. When God has given you the signal already, you've seen the symptom, the signs that this one may escalate to this, then you begin to pray. Pray, especially there are some that is wrong spirit that is behind it. For a boss in the that is always just getting, and whether you do it right or do it, bind the spirit. That spirit that is making the boss to misbehave, bind it. And you see sometimes it works. And you just see the person, we just calm down. And you say, what is wrong with it? It happened between David and
Saul.
David was singing song for him to calm him down. And the demon could not sing.
Yes.
So there are a lot of ways, but one thing I will say is that once you see the sign coming, I think you can begin to pray in the spirit. That's why praying in the spirit is very important. Speak in tongues. We can pray in the spirit within yourself. You won't be praying it out. Maybe the person will be thinking you are using what kind of name. Don't speak it out. Where you are before the boss, you are praying in the spirit. Your spirit is praying, and whatsoever is manipulating him, he will drop it. He will not be able to use it against you, because there are some that are not natural. They are spiritual.
Right.
So, and there are some that are not. There are some that they are because of your attitude, just as you have said before. So look inward and see somebody like attitude of laziness. You come to work late and you say your boss will not talk. He will talk. You do some things that you're supposed not to do. So if you look inward to yourself, you'll be able to know what to do and what not. Then if there are some from there, pray about it. I believe God will answer, because I know God will change them. There are some men that are like tigers, but through your soft attitude, you know this person, welcome sir, do this even for goodness sake, just that you can have peace, that your food is ready. Say, well, that's not what he's doing. When are you going to eat? You know, things like that. Soft, he said, soft answer turn away wrath.
That's right.
Soft answer and soft deed.
Let's
I just quickly, as mommy was sharing, what came to my mind has to do with office setting. I realized that at times, sometimes I look ahead concerning the office, because there was a time, maybe issues, this and that. What laid on me is that every day before you leave the house, pray and take over everything that you want to do in the office that day. And since I've been doing that, you know, you may think that is a simple prayer. I will just say, Lord, I don't want to be stressed today. Take over every activity. Lo and behold, everything will just fall in place. So there is nothing so difficult that we cannot take to the Lord. Our relationship, even anywhere, in-law, office, just lay it before the Lord, as mommy said, and everything will work out fine.
Yes, amen. Thank you very much.
To add to it, take charge.
Take charge.
Take charge anywhere you are at
of the
work.
atmosphere around you.
The atmosphere, it must be peaceful. I remember one time that some people were fighting and they were trying to, in this Lagos, in the marketplace, and they were trying to, I stood there, started speaking in, I said, peace in the name, at the corner, and I saw something that is so, I saw all of them, the way they diffused, and everybody separated them, and they went their way. I said, God, you have, I said, I don't want to see blood. I don't want to see this. They were fighting. I said, God, just please intervene, separate them. I can't separate them, let them not use those. But it is what we can take charge.
Yes.
Anywhere we are, take charge.
Take
What
charge.
you want to be in that place, pray it in, prophesy it into that place, and it will manifest.
Amen.
And thank you very much, Mommy. As you've heard it all from our ladies in the house, our beautiful ladies, you can never overemphasize the power of prayer. Prayer is very important. Take charge of that business. Take charge of the marriage with prayer. It's very, very important. Thank you very much, Mommy. But before we round up, let's hear a word from Mrs. Faith Ogbeju.
All right, thank you, Tracy. So I would like to drop this word before we go, and I think mommies will agree with me that as believers, if we are experiencing any form of toxicity, that it's important that we are self-conscious, that we are self-aware, and deal with it. We should not absorb it, so that we can break the chain of toxicity, because there's every tendency that the way your boss treated you or someone treats you, that's also the way you treat someone else. No, don't continue that legacy of aggression or toxicity. So deal with it in prayers, so that if there's a need for you to leave the workplace, you can leave. But by the time you pray and allow the Holy Spirit to lead you, your mind is intact, your heart is intact, you are not able to transfer that aggression to someone else, and the other person becomes a victim, and that chain continues. So let that aggression end at your side, and God will help us all in Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you very much, Mrs. Faith Ogbeju. If you give us the whole day, we'll continue with this conversation, but we have to go. Thank you very much, Ma, for joining us today. Thank you very much, Mrs. Omarwa, and thank you to our mommy in the house.
Mama.
Thank you very much, Ma. All right, it's a wrap on today's episode of Time Out with the Ladies. I'm sure you all out there learned so much. I also did, and I'm sure the ladies in the house can testify to that. All right, if you have questions, comments, or contributions, you can send us a message on social media platform with the hashtag TOWTL. Remember, send us a message on our social media platforms with the hashtag TOWTL, and we'll respond to you. So till we come your way next time, have a great week ahead.